All right, so let me just start regarding this AWS demo. Okay, so before going to AWS demo, let me just introduce myself. So my name is Amar, and I'm associated with NetMinion since 3 years now, and I have 10 plus year of experience. I do have experience on cloud computing. I do have experience on load balancer, also networking and security. So in this particular course, we are going to cover, AWS certifications, and also apart from AWS certification, we are going to cover generic cloud as well. So let me just run the presentation. Okay. So yes. So let's start from cloud computing. So maybe you have already experienced, or maybe you have heard about this term about cloud computing. So let's discuss that. What is cloud computing, and why this is so demanding nowadays? So let's consider the requirement, like you require some infrastructure to host any particular application, and you just want to host it. So to host the application, you require infrastructure, and to maintain that infrastructure, you require more resources. For example, if you want to maintain the power supply, so you require a good, you want to maintain the infrastructure power supply, so you require a good power supply and its backup, including cooling, etc. So that's the challenge. Yeah, go ahead, please, if you have any question. All right. So yeah, so to maintain the infrastructure, especially for the hosting application, you require a big resources. For example, power supply, you require database, storage, etc., and the cooling system, physical security, all those things. So this is what you required in the on-premises. Okay, like if you want to build your own infrastructure, then you have required all these things. But you to do this, it is time taking, plus this is expensive as well. So we have another solution where the things are ready. Machines are ready, power supply are ready, database, backup, storage, everything are ready. So we have on-demand delivery. Okay, and when you choose a cloud, so basically you would have a on-demand delivery for all these things. If you want to deploy infrastructure, okay, for example, you want to take a machine which can compute in a powerful manner, so you can deploy a compute resources on the cloud. If you require a database where you just want to store a least data or most data, so you can choose the databases. Okay, you can choose storage where you can store the database. You can choose the application, on-demand application. For example, in cloud we have different types of application, so you can choose those application, and other IT resources as well you can consume from cloud computing. Okay, so for cloud computing there is a cloud provider, and those cloud provider would provide all these services. So this is scalable. That means if you want to scale it, for example, right now you require one machine, so you can go for one machine. In future you require two machine, you can go for two machine, and let's say 5 machine, 10 machine, you can go. And if you want to reduce it, you can reduce it anytime. Okay, so that's what the cloud computing provides. So this is on demand. This is providing on demand delivery. Also, it is providing simple way to access your server, storage, databases, or any resources that you create on a cloud. So very simple way. If you want to manage them, this is providing very simple way to manage. Right? And also a cloud service platform, for example, like Amazon Web Services and Azure, they provide networking services. Networking connectivity. You don't need to pay any extra cost for those networking services. For example, let's say you have some resources in cloud and those want to access internet, so they can access internet using their backbone. Okay, so any cloud service provider would also providing you networking services as well. Okay, if I talk about the services which is majorly provided by the cloud provider, it is providing three types of services, basically SaaS based services, PaaS based services, and IaaS based services. So basically IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. So if you want to deploy infrastructure, for example, you want to deploy a server. So server is a part of infrastructure. Why? Because on the server you would have, processor, you have a memory, you have a storage, and you have a networking, all these things. So if you want to use a dedicated processor, memory, storage, or networking services, then you can go for IaaS, infrastructure as a services. So I would give you example. For example, you have XYZ application and that you want to host somewhere. So you selected that you just want to host this application in the cloud. So what you can do, this application would be hosted on the top of operating system or on the top of computer. So for that you have purchased the server and then you have hosted your application. So that's infrastructure as services. Here you are purchasing the infrastructure. Let's say you don't want to manage infrastructure. Okay, so let's say you just want to manage your application itself, not the infrastructure. On that case, you can go for platform as a services. Okay, so in platform and services, OS and application stack, server, storage, and network, all these things would be managed by the cloud provider. Operating system, wherever application is deploying, those stack, and the storage services, all those things would be managed by the cloud service provider, not by you. So you can go for the PaaS services. On the PaaS services, same application you want to host. So you would just select it. You have XYZ application, and this is a web application. And web application is going to deploy on a particular platform. So maybe you have Apache platform, Tomcat platform, or you have a IaaS platform. So you can choose that on which platform you just want to deploy. Okay. So here you don't have to pay for server resources, storage resources. You have to pay only for the application. Okay, application where you are deploying and the space which you are taking for the application, for that only you have to pay. The third type of services, we have SaaS services. This is software as a services. And here, if you directly just want to consume the service, don't want to maintain it, just want to consume the services. Okay, you don't care about the application where it is being deployed. You don't care about the infrastructure that where it is being deployed. You just want to consume the services. You can take example of simply Gmail. You are the user. As soon as you create your account on Gmail and you just started using it. Okay, so that kind of services is known as a SaaS services, where you can directly take the application and you can just start using the application. So package, software, OS, application, and server, everything would be managed by the cloud service provider. So as I told you, that example of Gmail, Dropbox, or Zoom, these are the SaaS services. These are SaaS services. All these are the SaaS services. Why? Because you don't need to care about that where it is being deployed. You just go on the application, simply you fill the form, register yourself, and start using it. So that kind of services is known as a SaaS services. Okay, so cloud, computing model is basically divided into three parts: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Right. Moving to next, we will talk about types of cloud now. So we have 4 types of cloud, and basically this is type means this is whether this is a shared or this is a dedicated. Based on that, the type has been divided. So cloud computing deployment model, we have 4 types basically. One is the public cloud. So in public cloud, anyone can access it and anyone can use it. For example, AWS. AWS is example of the public cloud, because if you as a customer want to create your resources over here, So you can get one space and you can start using it. If I, as a customer, I just want to use it, I can also use it. I can also create my space. So this is public. This can be used by anyone who have the capability to pay. So they can use this. This is a public cloud. Okay. So anyone can access and deploy their services. There is another type of cloud, that's a private cloud. So private cloud means this is dedicated for the company only. Okay. Nobody else can create their resources over here in the private cloud. For example, let's say there is a company, Wipro, and they have developed their cloud for their own uses. So if someone else want to create a resources there, they cannot create. That's a dedicated for, Wipro only. Right. So that's a private cloud. So private cloud is dedicated for the company, I can say. Next, we have community cloud. So in a community cloud is nothing but this is collaboration of 2-3 company. Okay. So basically, let's say you have 2-3 company. Let's say HCL is there, Wipro is there. Okay. And let's say Infosys is there. Okay. So all 3 company have just did the collaboration and they created the cloud. And now the people from the SCL, people from the Wipro, and people from Infosys, right? They can create their resources on these kind of clouds. So that's a community cloud. And finally, we have hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud, as you know, that's a combination of 2 or more. So for example, 2 or more cloud. For example, there is a company who is providing private cloud and public cloud services as well. So that could be known as a hybrid cloud. So AWS is providing those kind of things as well. So in AWS, you have a public cloud and you have a private cloud. Okay. So those who want to use private cloud, so AWS is providing private hosting to them, and those who want to use public hosting, so AWS is providing public hosting to them. Okay. Any questions so far before moving to next slide? All right, since no question, so let's move to next one and let's talk about AWS. So AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. Okay, and AWS does offer some certification, okay, so that people should have the hands-on to use their cloud, and also they can deliver the services or maintain the services that is offered by the AWS. So we have different types of certification. We have fundamental certification. So fundamental certification, you can take example of cloud practitioner. This is a fundamental certification. Then we have associate certification. Okay, so in associate certification, I mean, after the fundamental, you can go for associate, and then you can go for professional. And there are other certification as well. If someone want to pursue for the architect, they can go for architect. Someone want to pursue for operation, they can go for operation level certification, and someone developer, so they can go for developer certification. And here is the detail for that particular certification. That's what is the label, what is the exam duration, and what is the cost. Now moving to next, what course we are going to cover. So in course, we are going to cover all those things. Okay, so we are going to cover, cloud architecture. After cloud architecture, we are going to cover fundamental pillars of cloud computing. Then we are going to start, core labs. Basically, we are going to start compute lab. So we are going to cover what are the EC2 instances, how many types, and which condition you should use what EC2 instance, all those things we are going to cover. Then we are going to talk about networking lab. In networking lab, we are going to understand VPC, NAT, subnet, all these part. Then we have storage. Okay, so in storage, we are going to cover all kind of storage, whether that is S3 bucket or that's any other storage, for example, hard drive based. Then we are going to cover databases, and then we are going to cover load balancer, Route 53, and security labs. So all these things we are going to cover as a part of AWS syllabus.
It will cover which certificate?
This is going to cover associate level of certificate.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go for live demo. I'm just going to show you quickly that how we can use a cloud computing, and especially in AWS itself. So if you want to use AWS, so simply what you can do, you can register yourself over here, and this is pretty guided registration. Okay, it is going to take a credit card detail. However, it's not going to detect any money, and by default, this is a you can use the free services or demo services that is provided by AWS up to 1 year. After 1 year, you have to pay that. Okay, so let's consider you have already created your account. Okay, you have registered yourself on amazon.aws.com, sorry, aws.amazon.com. If you have already registered, so what you can do, you can access the console. So let me just try to access the console of AWS. Okay, so I have already registered myself. Let me just log out and show you how you can register. So simply, if you want to create an account, for example, if I click on sign in, so by default, it is asking to create a new account to me. So as soon as if I click on create a new account, okay, so I would get option for sign up. So if you have already account, that's fine. If you don't have, so you can register yourself. And once you register, you can log in as a root user. There are two types of user: root, who is having full permission, and IAM user. This is managed permission. So here you would get limited permission. So let's say I'm just logging as a root user, providing the password, and then signing in. So I can see this is the console of AWS. Using this console, we can manage a lot of things. So whatever recently I have accessed, it is here. And these are the services. So there are many services offered by the AWS. If you see, there are different types of services. If someone want to use just database, they can go for database services. Someone want to use Internet of Things, they can go for Internet of the Things. Someone want to use machine learning, they can go for machine learning things. I just want to use compute, so I can go to compute option over here. So this is compute option. And in compute option, I just want to create EC2 instances. This is Elastic Cloud Computing. EC2 is nothing but this is Elastic Cloud Computing. And this is where you can create the infrastructure. For example, if you want to create server, so you can create server from here. So I'm just going to show you one instance, that's a EC2 instance. For example, I just want to create my on machine. Okay, so the on server. So I can go here on the instance option. Simply, these are the machine we had already created. And if I just want to create my own machine, so I can click here, launch instances. So as soon as that I would click on launch instances, I would get option to put the name of machine. For example, I'm just giving the machine name my web server. I just want to host a web server. That's why I have given the my web server. And here there are templates. These are the image templates. That image template known as the AMI, that is Amazon Machine Image. So you would have multiple templates, and there are standard templates as well. So if you want to use a particular template, for example, regarding the Windows, I just want to search that whether there is any template for Windows. So I would type Windows and press enter for search. So here you can see we have the option for different types of Windows image. So if we are going to choose first one and second one, this is a free. But if I would use third one, so this is a payable. So I just want to use free services because I don't want to pay for now. So I just select the free tier.
Where it is payable?
Sorry.
Okay, the free is showing.
Yeah, this is a free tier it is. So let's select it, and I would confirm that yes, I just want to use that one. Okay, so Windows free image has been selected. Apart from that, these are the instance type. So basically instance type is nothing but this is a compute services that I want to take. So basically T2 micro type of services is free, but other type of services, for example, if I take any other type of services, large one, so here it is providing that whenever you're choosing machine, so what would be the capability of the machine. So it's showing that for T2 micro, the capability is one CPU, 1 GB memory. But if you go for large, where you would get 2 core of CPU, 8 GB memory, this is not a free, you have to pay. So I'm just taking a free one. Okay. And then good thing for accessing this machine first time, you require a key, that means password. So password you can generate using the key pair. So I would create a key pair and give some name. For example, I would give name net underscore key. This is my key name, and I would create this pair. Okay, it's created, and as soon as it's created, as well as downloaded as well. Okay, this is a private key. Don't share with anyone. Apart from that, what services I just want to allow for this machine? So I just want to allow RDP so that I can access it. And if you want to allow web services as well, if you are hosting website on this, so you can allow web services as well. However, later you can edit it. So this is the services that I just want to allow incoming services on this system. And this is the storage. This is storage, nothing but the local hard disk that would be attached on this machine where operating system would be installed. And then I can click on this launch option. Okay, so launch instances. This is going to take some time and it is going to launch it. And if the resource has been started, so you can click here to your instance, and yes, you can reach to resource. So this is the instance. I can click directly on the instance and I can reach here. So this is the instance which is going to be started right now. It would take maximum 5 minutes and your server would be ready. So let's wait for 3 to 5 minutes. And meanwhile, if you have any question or you just want to discuss anything, you can discuss. Okay, so let's wait. Meanwhile, this is initiating. Let me just provide you more information about this instance. So this is the instance ID. This instance ID would be unique. You can click on the instance ID and you can see more detail as well. So here you can see what is the instance ID, what is the host name. So this is the host name. Using this host name, you can access this machine from anywhere. Okay, this machine would get two types of IP: private IP to access from the AWS itself, and public IP to access from anywhere. Okay, so this is the private IP it got, and this is the public IP this machine got. So I can access this machine using this public IP, or I can access this machine using this public DNS. Okay, so both I can access. This machine is created somewhere in the virtual space, that is a VPC. Okay, virtual private cloud. So this is a virtual private cloud name, and under that virtual cloud private name, we have a subnet. So under this subnet, this machine is creating. This is a subnet name. Okay, so this is the basic details you can see. Regarding the security, what is allowed and what is not allowed. So you can click here and you can see that there is a security group. This is the security group that is associated to this machine. Okay, so security group is nothing but this is kind of firewall. So what is allowed and what is not allowed, you can see here. So I have opened the security group and you can see that there are two port allowed. One is 3389 and other is 80. And any source can access my machine on port number 80 and 3389. Apart from that, there is a networking option. Here you can see public IP, private IP. So here as well, you can see storage. What is the storage size? You can see this is the storage volume name, and this is the storage. Okay, and this is the size, and by default this is attached. The status you want to check, you can check the status from here if this machine is running, and any monitoring you want to check, that what is the utilization of CPU, network, disk. Okay, all those monitoring you can see. Let's go back to instance and check this is running and this is up now. So I can click on the instance and I just want to connect to this instance. So I can click on this connect option. And as you know, this is Microsoft Windows, so I can connect via RDP. So this is RDP client. I can download directly that file that's going to download into my machine. I can click on this and I can click on connect. This is connecting now. I can provide username and password. So username is by default administrator, and password how I can get. So I need a file from where I can get the password. So you can see the option. There is option to get password, as well as I will click on get password. It is asking that I need to browse this NetMinion key website. So let's say this is the file, and now I can decrypt it, and this is my password. Right? I got my password, and now I can put here that password and try to access it. Username administrator. Let me just try the different one. Okay, it's not working. This is taking my local username. That's why it's creating a problem. So I need to check if it can take. So it seems there is an issue. Okay, probably you guys can access it. It seems that there is a problem on my system. Anyhow, this username, they stick with my system. So what I would give you user, machine instance ID and then password. You can try from your machine. So Ravi, would you like to try?
Yes, yes.
Sure. So just take this public IP and let me just paste the password.
Screen, right?
Yeah, this is the default screen, and you can see there is a feedback as well. And this is the server. If you want to use for any purpose, you can use it. Like if you want to host a website, you can host the website. Anyway, so yeah, so I mean to say that, let me just reshare my screen. You can access it, this machine from anywhere, right? And at any time you can access this machine, right? Anyhow, this is not working for me because I have Windows 11 and anyhow, it's not taking the default username and password. But this is the web server that is accessible from anywhere. Few things I would like to tell you regarding this. I have launched this instance, and if I just want to terminate this instance, I can terminate it. Terminate is a complete deletion. Okay, so if you shut down, that may charge, they would charge you. Okay, because storage would always engaged. But if you terminate, that means this is going to delete it from here. Okay, so termination is process for deletion of the machine or server which you have created. Okay, so this is all for the demo. If you have any specific question, please ask me. Okay, regarding this demo or any technical question regarding the cloud computing. one thing I just want to assure all of you, when you join this course, you would not only get the teaching knowledge, but you would get the real knowledge over here. That means because I'm already working on a cloud computing, and since now it's a 6 year, I'm in AWS right now. So yeah, I would tell you real scenario that how company are using their resources in the cloud.